Hi, it's you and Ellery here making bonsai in Australia, and in this video I'm going to take my first steps at turning this Australian black pine into a bonsai. So I've wanted for quite some time to start the process of turning a pine into a bonsai. Unfortunately, I don't actually have any pine trees. I've got a couple of bunya pine, which is another native Australian tree, but they're nothing like your standard pines and your standard black pines. But I was down at the local Bunnings and they had an Australian black pine, so native to Australia. I don't think these actually do too well in really warm climates from what I've managed to gather online from other people's experiences. But they are, quite a slow growing tree. Yeah, I think it'll do pretty well in this climate and something I have available. So now, as you may have seen in my latest video, I have moved house recently, and that does mean that I'm in an area that is a lot colder through winter. Now, I think the temperatures that I expressed at that point in time, which were about 2-3 degrees overnight, degrees Celsius that is, I think they were a little bit of an abnormality, so I don't think I will need to be worried about that being an ongoing thing. But that being said, I've still gotten a small little, very small little backyard greenhouse. It is only about 1.5 meters or so high, so quite small, but it will be enough for me to start with and start working on some bonsai and doing some root pruning without me being worried about the cold temperatures really damaging the new pruned roots and killing my tree. Now, as with all pines, they do like a really well-draining soil. So you can see just from the Nursery potting mix that they've already got in here, it is, it's got a lot of really coarse bark and a few other little bits and pieces in there as well to keep it nice and well drained. Alright, so I'm just going to start pruning back some of these roots just to get a bit of a flatter root plane. Not going to go crazy flat at this point in time. Do want to keep a fair few roots on just to give it a bit more health given the time of year that I am doing this. But yeah, I do need to prune it back a fair bit, mostly given that we only cut a couple of pots to work with, and one of those is this, so just need to be able to fit it into this pot. Now, before I go too much further, I do also want to get a little bit of pruning action going, just so it's not too top heavy. Now, for now, I'm going to prune this main branch. As nice as this branch is, there's a nice bit of movement up the top. It's just too tall for the size of the base of the tree, so pruning all of that back. Now, I did prune it back just to where there's another little branch coming up just below, and there is a bit of a start of a barry that you can see from the top of the root mass here, so nothing too distinct, and I haven't washed the roots back, but that'll give me something to work with. And I'll just cover the top of that with a bit of soil just to get the rest of them to be as healthy as possible and start to thicken out there. Again, I might get rid of this other big branch just to get it all back and keep it a little bit more condensed down the bottom here. Now, a bunch of just small shoots coming out there which I don't need. Just pruning the top now to Do a bit of a profile. And these branches down the bottom, and I'll be keeping those, at least for the most part, at least for now, just as future sacrificial branches, so just branches that will develop a bit more taper in the trunk there. Having a look at the, what I'm surmising will be the front at this point, just because there's, the best of the Nabari is kind of visible from that front, but this really big thick one, I don't think that's really actually needed at this point, just because there isn't any taper in it. I'll be getting rid of it eventually anyway, and there's quite a bit of branching coming up over here, so I might prune it back. Not too drastically at this point. I'll clean it up in future. Just don't want it dying back too far. Don't want it, dying back too far and then killing the main trunk there. Kind of opens it up a little bit and will allow a lot more vigor to go into those branches that I do want. Now, just with the remaining branches, so this one here comes up a little bit too high, given it's just really just a side branch, so pruning back so these can hopefully grow out a bit further. The one below it is really thin at this point, so hopefully that'll thicken up and I can get rid of that completely with time, but I want to leave, I don't want to prune too much off right now. Just get it into a little bit more of a profile. So none of these branches going too crazy. So I think that'll about do it for the pruning for now. So I'm just gonna have a go at potting it, make sure it fits. Go from there. Just pruning these roots back so they're not doubling over already. I want them to be able to grow out straight a little bit more before they hit the edge of the pot and start going all in weird directions. So yeah, a bit of soil mounted up there on top of a lot of these roots. Just to try and keep them out of too much weather, keep them moist, keep them out of the cold a little bit. But I'll also be putting it into my treehouse. I'll also be putting it into my greenhouse. So there's my new black pine bonsai. So yeah, as I'd mentioned earlier, and I had in my past video mentioned that I'd be looking at ultimately getting a greenhouse. The greenhouses that I was looking at were fairly expensive and not the best fit in my backyard. So at the moment I've just compromised and gotten a $25 little backyard greenhouse. It's really small, but hopefully it will give me a bit of the warmth that I'll need, especially when I am doing jobs like this through winter, just to keep my plants a little bit warmer, get a little bit more growth out of them and less chance that they'll catch the cold and die. So look, I hope you've enjoyed this video or taken something from it. If you have, then please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel so that you're notified with my future videos as I release them. But look, thanks for your time today. Enjoy. Bye.